I'm Andrew.
You gotta do a what's up, everybody, or there's no
Oh,
fucking point.
hey everyone. Welcome
God
back.
damn.
It's week 2.
It
I'm
truly is
Andrew.
a
I'm Andrew.
one-man
He's
show.
he's he's Drew. Are you come on now.
It
I'm
truly
trying.
is. I carry the weight so
You
goddamn much.
you carry the labor. I clearly bring the
What, the
charm,
charm?
and the ideas. I offered all the
The
ideas from from
ideas.
from last week.
Who wants to open
I
with I'm Andrew, doesn't even say hello to you fine people. Alright, let's get right into it. Andrew,
we're Drew.
do you ever put Pop-Tarts in the toaster?
I personally have not, no, but I know people who do, and I've heard they're better that way.
Yes, I do for some specific Pop-Tarts. You know I'm a Pop-Tart boy. I'm a
Yes,
Pop-Tart
you are.
guy. Um, Cookies and cream Pop Tarts.
Oh, I feel like that's too much.
Om nom nom. Delicious in the toaster. Good old cold glass of milk. Pop that bitch in the toaster, and we're good to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, I did that this
Right.
weekend. Weekend?
Okay.
What day is it?
It is
It's Thursday. I did
Friday.
this. It's fucking
Thursday.
Friday? No,
It's
it's
Thursday.
Thursday. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Um, anyway, I did that this week. And I may have started a bit of the burning process.
Uh-huh.
Not enough to like ruin anything, but enough to, taste burnt.
Right.
And I gotta say, burnt Pop Tarts are kind of the most disgusting thing
Oh no.
I've ever tasted. But that reminded
Why
me
is
of
that?
something. It's just like, that like, that burnt, almost like burnt popcorn kind of a taste.
Oh no.
Yeah, stuff that full of cookies and cream filling,
Oh Lord.
douse it with milk, because, you gotta have that milk
Douse it.
chaser.
Douse it with milk.
And yeah, that's what I was munching on. But it reminded me of something.
Did you continue to eat it? Like I
Yeah,
know
it
I'm
was
sorry to
good.
keep
I
cutting you
mean,
off, but like, oh, it was good. You just
yeah.
said it's one of the most disgusting things you've ever had.
But it was only burnt on like the bottom part.
That's half the part.
Like I should rephrase that. It was only burnt on the parts around that didn't have the frosting on it, like the edges.
Oh,
So
okay.
once you could
So
crack those
it
off, it was fine.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So go on.
Um, First off, it reminds me of there's a couple of Pop Tart related things I want to talk about.
I'm totally down.
Yeah, the first one is just a story to get it off my chest. When I was in like sixth grade, I popped some exact. There was still cookies and cream. Popped those bitches
Uh-huh.
in the toaster,
Uh-huh.
and put the plunger. Is it a plunger? The
I
button,
suppose
the lever.
I suppose technically it counts as a plunger, doesn't it? It
I'm
plunges
yeah.
the Pop Tart.
I plunged the tarts.
You plunge the
I
tarts.
walked away, and it melted the frosting off and ruined the toaster.
You ruined a toaster with a Pop Tart.
I sure did. Um, but that's not what I want to talk about. That's not what we're here for. We're not gonna.
I love that that was a story that you had to get off your chest.
It's been a while. It was one of those like Saturday morning things. Like, Mom, I don't know. It just didn't pop up. Nah, I just fucking cranked that shit to 9 and let
You
it go.
just you just ruined it. I've never had a cookies and cream Pop Tart. I'm a classic man. I like the cinnamon ones and I like blueberry and strawberry. But I am an old person in that I think Pop Tarts and Oreos now today have way too many variations and it makes me uncomfortable. Like I hate the number of variations that are like what was wrong? What was wrong with regular Oreos? What was wrong with cinnamon Pop Tarts? You're not gonna melt the icing off a cinnamon Pop Tart. Like it's different, but yeah. Anyway,
I separate my Pop Tarts into two camps. I
okay.
got the ones you eat with milk and the ones you eat with fruit juice, whether it be like a Gatorade or a Kool-Aid or an apple juice, whatever. Anything
Huh.
fruity fits in that category. Then you have like cookies and cream, chocolate fudge, peanut butter chocolate chip. All that is in the milk department, and we gotta get we gotta expand your Pop Tart.
I suppose
Cookies and cream are my favorite.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it though. And I like my classics. I like cinnamon, but I'll try them, I suppose.
Good. On to the point that I have written here on my handy dandy whiteboard.
Yes, yes, of course.
Some people are weird.
Okay.
And there was a campaign, oh, an advertising campaign a while back, when Pop Tart released a bunch of new flavors and whatever
Hmm.
of different ways to eat their Pop Tart.
Hmm.
So they had, the standard. You just pop it out of the foil, munch it down. You had throw it in the toaster. And they also were starting to push certain flavors that were very good frozen. So they would push for you to freeze your box of Pop Tarts and eat them frozen,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
I knew a guy in high school whose mom took the brown sugar cinnamon ones, but the ones without the frosting,
Oh,
and covered them with butter
okay.
and then ate them.
Uh-huh.
So my question to you, being a lover of those brown sugar cinnamon
Right.
Pop Tarts, what is up with that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I had no idea that the brown sugar cinnamon ones even existed without the frosting, that that was an option because that's like 80% of the appeal. So to purposely buy ones without it, just to add butter, I don't try to judge people for their interests or likes of things, but I will say that is bizarre
It's wild. Like
and
dumb. Crazy.
very possibly disgusting.
Maybe. But that's the thing. This is really the meat of this question, Andrew. What weird food shit like that do you know of, or maybe even that you've tried, that people enjoy for some reason?
Well, that other people enjoy, I don't
Or you?
know. I know that there was one I did when I used to work at the sandwich restaurant that I worked at. I would get a small white bread bun and I would just put cream cheese on it. But like, see, that's not weird if it's a bagel. But
Yeah,
I was using like a sandwich uh,
half.
sub bun of
Mhm.
sorts, and it's just I throw that in the steamer, I'd melt the cheese, and I'd eat it. Like that's basically just unhealthy. That's all carbs and a little bit of dairy. But like it was delicious. I loved it. But other than that, uh, my brother for the longest time would only eat hot dogs, but he would not eat a hot dog if it had a bun. He only wanted the
Oh.
meat and the ketchup.
I mean,
So
okay. I
like
guess when it, like, how old?
from ages 5 to like 11,
Okay, that's kind of stretching it. I can understand when you're younger, the classic,
because kids are weird, but like
yeah.
he had a weird thing about bread. Like he's not gluten free. He doesn't have any issues with bread.
He
He
just
wouldn't
doesn't
eat
like bread.
he wouldn't eat sandwiches and he wouldn't eat hot dogs if they had a bun.
Huh. Yeah, that's a little much.
Oh, okay, I got another one. I'm just gonna kind of crap on my siblings. My other brother drinks syrup.
I don't drink syrup. But on that so,
were you gonna add you're gonna add to that? Because I
yes.
thought that was a weird one.
Yes. I prefer my scrambled eggs with syrup.
That's weirder. I'm gonna be honest. That I knew that though. I've seen
Yeah.
you do that. But see, I'll eat when like if you put everything on the same plate. Because I'm not the kind of person that food can't touch.
Mm.
So if your syrup kind of meanders over to that side of the plate where the eggs are, cool, whatever. But you
Yeah,
intentionally
that's
do
how it
it, don't you?
started. That's how it
Mm.
started. I had some eggs next to some pancakes, went a little overboard with the syrup, and then just, yeah. Now you scramble up your eggs and you syrup it up, and I don't understand how anybody doesn't do it.
Because like syrup mixed with meat products, that just sounds strange.
Egg's not a meat product.
It's the okay. What is it then?
It's,
It comes from an animal and it's not a liquid. It's a meat product of
do you
some
want to get
sort.
into this?
I
Are you telling me
suppose
that cakes are meat products because they have egg in them?
it's an ingredient.
Okay, so we're just cooking ingredients. Meat cake. Every
But
cake
it's
is meat cake. You heard it here
oh,
fucking
oh
first.
okay. Well, cereal is still a salad.
It sure is, and it's a meat salad because I'm sure they use eggs in some cereals.
Oh damn. Okay, I've ruined food. I've
Yeah,
ruined food.
everything with an egg is a meat.
I have another weird food story though.
Hit
Something
me.
I did when I was a kid. I I don't. I think this might have been during my. Actually, I don't know if this was during a phase of. I might have just been stupid, but I wanted to mix. I wanted to like make a new sandwich that I thought would be cool.
Okay.
So I thought at the time, what were the most delicious flavors
Oh
that I could put
no, this never
together
goes
for
well.
a sandwich? It's not going where you think it's going, but it's like wherever you think it's going, you're gonna be surprised. So what I did, I made a peanut butter sandwich
Hmm.
with potato chips. And it
Okay.
was so strangely sticky and hard to chew, it ripped out a tooth. I
Oh.
I had I had a loose tooth at the time, but it was not ready to come out, but that sandwich took it out. That peanut butter potato chip sandwich took out a tooth. I never made it again. Never again.
Oh. I mean, yeah, I know of like people will purposely add potato chips to their sandwiches and burgers and stuff to give like a soggy ingredient sandwich some crunch. Same
Hmm.
same thing with like lettuce, but you know, fried and unhealthy.
Right.
That rips your
Hmm.
the tooth taker.
The tooth taker sandwich.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah.
I bet it tasted fine.
At first it was fine because it was a little salty, a
Mm-hmm.
little salty with the peanut butter, and it wasn't bad. But then I couldn't chew it because half of it was too pointy and sharp because of
Oh
the broken
yeah,
up chips. And then I was
and the
chewing it out
tooth.
in my mouth. Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, then it took out a tooth. And I was like, oh god, damn.
Ugh.
So yeah, there's that.
All right, so let me hit you with a few from my experience.
You go right ahead.
When I was a child, um, just as some warning for this one, to me, now this sounds disgusting.
Okay.
But back in the day, I buttered bologna sandwiches.
Ew.
Butter, ch- cheese, bologna bread.
Oh, oh God. What is it with you and the butter stories? Like,
Butterman
oh.
is the
What
uh,
prompted this? Why did you made a bologna sandwich? I don't even like bologna to begin with, but we're gonna
mhm.
move past that. You've got a bologna sandwich with cheese, and you're thinking, you know what this needs? Butter.
Well, a staple for dinner growing up was always bread and butter. It was like
Oh,
every evening I would have bread and butter. So I think it was, oh, bologna sandwich, that has bread. And I like bread and butter. I like bologna sandwiches. What if we combine the two? It's kind of your potato chips and peanut butter.
the logic is sound.
Yeah, apart, fine. Together, great. And maybe it was. I ate it a lot, so it must have been something.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I have a question then, going off of
Sure.
this
Hit
exact
me.
idea. What is a food combination that is widely accepted and popular, even in society, that you just cannot understand or you think is disgusting?
Um,
Because I have one, and I know it's going to be controversial.
yeah, go for it. I think I've got one too, so go
I
ahead.
do not understand. I realize people love it. I do not understand chicken and waffles. I think that's weird.
Okay.
That's dinner mixed with breakfast, and I can't stand it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a crossing the lines there, but
It's crossing all the lines.
I think it's the salty sweet kind of a thing.
I think that's what people say. I understand that, but like it's so strange because like I realize I'm being hypocritical almost because I love waffles with eggs,
Hmm.
but then if you age up that bird, I no longer want it.
Ate it up and put it in a deep fryer.
Like I have to, it has to be before it was a chicken for me to enjoy it.
Pre-meat eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pre-meat
okay.
eggs.
I don't really have a problem with that one. I think that's just, it's fine. It's like I don't eat it probably because we live in Ohio.
That's a good point.
Um, yeah, I don't have an issue with that. One that I have that it's very much a personal preference,
Hmm.
but BLTs.
Bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah.
Not feeling the bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Well, I think what it is for me is bacon is essentially a condiment. It's an addition. So making that your primary meat
Whoa.
doesn't fly with me. It feels like you're missing the point of a sandwich.
I've never thought about this.
Yeah, it's like going to McDonald's, getting a quarter pounder and pulling off the meat and just eating the bread, the lettuce, and the sauces.
You are absolutely right. I have never thought about this.
Yeah,
And I've known what a BLT is. I just never gave it any thought.
yeah,
That is strange.
yeah. Because anytime you ever eat bacon, aside from the BLT, it is either added to something or it's a side. So, like,
Uh-huh.
if you have it with breakfast, you have eggs and bacon. You never just have bacon. And if you have it like on a sandwich, it's a bacon cheeseburger, or it has another protein there that it's another protein.
Right. Like in a breakfast sandwich, it is complementing the egg, not the other
Right.
way around.
Yeah. And the only other time you'll have salad or have salads is when you bacon them. The only other time you'll have bacon is when you have a salad and want to like top it off, or like soups
Right.
or things. But even
You
then,
sprinkle
like
bacon.
it's just an addition.
That's weird. So how much bacon is on a BLT for it to? Cause it's this thin meat too.
It's a thin meat. Yeah. The way
And like
that
when you slice turkey or chicken for like it's a lot of slices for it to actually be worth
like
biting into. So how much
substantial.
how much bacon do you put on a BLT? And is it crispy?
Yeah, so the way that my family does it is three, because my parents love the BLTs. It's like like 3 times a month. It's BLT night. Um,
Ooh.
it's 3 slices, one tomato, one sleeve blanket of lettuce
Hmm.
on toasted bread. And the issue
Oh.
isn't overstuffing the sandwich. It's just having more sandwiches. So you make those and then like cut them into the triangle so it doesn't feel like you don't feel bad for eating a lot. Um, so yeah, for one or for 2 slices of bread, it's 3 bread lengths of bacon. And they always do it crispy.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know what? I can make that even weirder
Yeah.
because I don't I've never had a BLT,
Mhm.
but I don't like tomato.
Yeah.
So can you imagine
Just the big old
just
BL.
bacon and lettuce? Like
Hmm.
that's so weird. That's the weirdest sandwich ever. Just bacon and lettuce. I wouldn't eat it. That's disgusting. Because if
Hmm.
you have crispy bright bacon, even with the toasted bread, the lettuce is like fresh and watery.
Yep.
Those don't complement each other at all.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said with like the toasted bread, the crispy bacon, and the lettuce. Having just 3 crunches as your meal is a little much. You need some
That's
texture
strange.
difference there.
Should we dare to actually break out the fact checker thing and see where BLTs come from?
No,
Okay.
no.
My interest is gone.
Just say like France and we'll be fine.
France? We're gonna bring in the French. Just blame them.
You got a problem with the French?
No, well, I feel like people blame the French all the time.
Damn French.
Okay, fine. We're blaming the French. I got nothing against you, French people.
Same. We're peaceful.
I took French in high school and in college.
I didn't.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
So here's one.
Okay.
A friend that I used to play a lot of video games with.
Hmm.
His favorite snack food during games was Cheez-Its.
Hmm.
And he would always dip the Cheez-Its in mustard.
Oh no.
And like through track in high school and stuff like that, I found out that that's just a thing. People like salty foods with
What?
mustard. Yeah, like at very consistently at track meets, cross country meets, whatever. Um, if you go up to the concession stands and buy a soft uh, pretzel, there
Hmm.
are some stands that would say, "Okay, do you want cheese or mustard with that?"
I've seen the pretzel and mustard thing before. I
It's
never
the
really thought
same
about it,
deal.
but
Yeah,
Cheez-Its? Cheez-Its are a snack, in my opinion, that don't require a condiment of any kind. Like, you don't dip a Cheez-It in anything.
yeah, because at that point you only have like
They're
the
tiny.
pizza sauces that you could dip them in that might be okay, or just other cheese, and that's when you're going overboard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, Cheez-Its, they're the tiny little handhold, little, I don't know. They're not dippable. Like,
Yeah.
that's strange. That's so strange. My brother's allergic to mustard, actually, now that you mentioned mustard.
Oh,
You know anyone who's allergic to mustard?
no, it's a very specific thing to be allergic to.
Right? Mustard. And when I was a kid, it was rabbits.
Like eating them, or
No, I've never eaten a rabbit.
Okay.
But like when you're a kid, you go to like fairs or play dates and crap, and someone has a pet rabbit, and you pick it up, and then my skin turned red and itchy.
There was a girl on my cross country team that was allergic to grass.
Oh,
And
what? Oh, that's horrible.
like yeah, it's pretty bad, especially when you think that she chooses her free time to join the only sport that is running through grass for 3.5 miles.
That is terrible. Are you allergic to anything?
Uh, not that we've found so far.
Have you ever been stung by a bee?
Yes,
Okay, see, I haven't. For all I know, I'm allergic to bees.
very well could be.
I very well could be. Who knows? I could die easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what everyone's allergic to, as far as I can tell?
Bullets?
I was gonna say lava, but yes, that too. My here, you want to hear the most badass allergy ever?
Badass allergy? Yes, I am very interested in
This
this.
is like borderline confirmed by doctors. My mother is allergic to spiders. So like she like gets bit by a spider and gets like a mild allergic reaction at more than regular people. Like everyone's allergic to bees, but my mom's allergic to spiders.
The anti-spider woman
Right?
got bit by a radioactive spider and died.
Yep. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
That
Well,
does that brings up a question.
okay, go on.
Can insects have allergies? Like specific
Do other things
insects?
have allergies?
Dogs do,
Dogs do.
at the very least.
Okay,
Or
well,
well,
here's another
I should say
question.
dogs can.
Can you be too small to have allergies?
Yeah, because allergies are when what is it? Allergies are when the immune system of your body fights against something that is not dangerous.
Right,
So
but also something
anything,
invasive, right?
well, no, because that's what it's supposed to do.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just having an allergy, being allergic to something, is when your immune system is falsely fighting a battle it doesn't have to. Like, for example, a peanut doesn't do anything, but people who are allergic to peanuts, their body does everything to try and fight that peanut off,
Hmm.
even though it wouldn't actually, it's not a poisonous thing or whatever. So
Right.
that brings in, like, any creature that could not get sick couldn't be allergic to anything in the traditional way because they wouldn't have an immune system to fight fake things. They don't have an immune system to fight the real things because they have no need for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, interesting. Okay, but I broke down and I Googled it.
Okay.
So the answer to your question, to the best of my knowledge, is no, because their immune systems are simpler than humans.
Okay.
So at least according to this, insects, and I imagine by extension possibly all little invertebrates,
Hmm.
no allergies because they operate in a simpler system.
That makes
But that
sense.
was that was a very interesting idea. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Does that mean something bigger? Like, do whales have allergies?
I'm sure they can. I'm sure anything with a complex immune system can have allergies because it's
Huh.
simply just a defect in the immune system.
Interesting. Imagine being a whale and being allergic to salt.
Ugh,
I know. That's rough.
you would not make it very long.
No, you wouldn't. It'd be most unfortunate. All right, what else you got?
We covered my shit. What do you got?
Well, okay. Well, my question for
Yeah.
today, at least one of them,
Hmm.
because in our nerd lives, we think about these things. So, Star Trek.
Yeah.
I imagine many people have already clicked away, but Star Trek, the spaceships, like the Federation ones specifically,
Like
are they?
Enterprise and
Yes, like our main ones, the Enterprise, Voyager, the
Voyager. Yeah.
Excelsior, all that gang.
Yeah.
Are they cool or not? Because I've always felt that like they were
Ooh.
cool, but like technically there's like five different pieces that are just rearranged in different ways to get this
Yeah.
massive fleet of ships, and they're all gray with like the cool glowy blue and red. But like, are they cool? Because watching it, typically they're cool. And the most recent movies, like with the classic Enterprise all jazzed up and JJ making it look cool, like they look cool, but like Are they cool or not?
I think this is going to be a good conversation because I personally hate them.
Really? Like all
I
of them?
all of the Federation ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Klingon starfighters and stuff, those are cool.
Hmm. But the long necks, though, I don't like the long neck of the birds of prey. That makes me anxious. I feel like it's an easy target to lose.
I think I still think they're cool, interesting to look at and not stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, what issue do you take with the Federation ships?
Yeah, it may simply be like in my brain, maybe because of Star Wars or, all of the other stuff that I'm a huge fan of, that
Hmm.
flying machines have to have wings of some kind,
Ah, I see.
and none of the Federation ships really do, except for like the small scout ships and stuff.
But see how you
Um,
could say the same thing about Star Wars though. Those great big ships, like the where the that like Admiral Akbar flies, those don't have wings. Those are
those
like
are,
weird,
yeah, I
big,
guess
only
so.
space ships, and like the Enterprise is only supposed to be a spaceship. So you can make the same argument for the big ones.
But it's more boat-like. It looks like it makes more sense.
That I'll give you. The necks of the Enterprise used to bother me as a kid. Now I don't care because I love it. But I will say though, going off of what you say, my favorite Federation ship is the Enterprise E because it got rid of the neck. It's
Hmm.
all more like one piece and it's all kind of flat, and
Yeah,
I think it looks dope.
I think that would be better. Yeah, the stems where the engines are on the Enterprise, it
Hmm.
just it's goofy, and I'm not a fan. And before we like ignore the elephant in the room, I do not like the design of the Millennium Falcon.
You know what? I was going to say this as a counter.
Hmm.
I don't actually like most of the Star Wars ship designs either. Like if you don't like the Star Trek ones, I don't like the Star Wars ones. I think
Really?
I okay, well, okay. I'm going to come back to you on Millennium Falcon. I know I'm talking a lot, but like I love the X-wings.
Hmm.
Easy love the
Yeah,
X-wings.
of course.
Um, I think the TIE fighters are cool, and I like the
Yep,
variations of the TIE
agreed.
fighters. And I don't even know if you could count the Star Destroyers really because they're just floating cities, but
Mhm.
those are cool. But then when you get into more and more of the Rebel ships, I just think they look so strangely nonsensical. I mean, I know you've explained how many of them have purposes, but like the ones where like they look like they fly sideways and they like to turn, like the ones that they have in the Battle of Crate, and
Hmm.
then a couple of like I don't even remember what they're called, but they just look so oddly thrown together. And I
Yeah.
think part of what I like about the Star Trek ones, even though I acknowledge they're just the same pieces rearranged, it looks like a growth and a consistency in an idea. But the other thing that again I will acknowledge is a lot of the Star Wars ones, they're from multiple different worlds. It makes sense. Like
Yes.
it makes sense in Star Wars, but I don't love it. I don't like it as much.
The ones that you're talking about are the skimmers, the mine
Yeah, the
skimmers,
skimmers are one, but there are other flying ones I don't like either.
and the B wing is one that you're talking
I think
about.
that's it because we've talked about the B wing before.
Yeah, which the B wing is a little bit of a wild design. For those who are still here for some reason and listening to us babble about this, um, the what was it? Last no, yeah,
The
Last
skimmers were in
Jedi.
Last Jedi. Hmm.
The Battle of Crate, which is the red salt planet
With
thing.
little
Beautiful
crystal
fight.
critters.
Yeah, beautiful fight scene. But we're talking about those with the like they skim. They have like one little leg that sticks down into the ground, and then it's just a platform with the cockpit on one side. And the B wing is like practically that, but in space.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a lot of the like the cockpit is off to the side and not in the center of the ship. For
Yeah, that's
most
my
of the
issue
rebels,
with the Millennium Falcon, which I imagine you'll get to.
yeah. For most of the rebel ships, they have that typical like airplane-like design with a cockpit in the front center, like the X-wing, the
Hmm.
Y-wing, which you've seen in the classic
Right.
Star Wars, and the A-wing, which is like if you picture the Y-wing, if you can, and it's just like the front part, just where the cockpit is, cut off all the engines and stuff. That's what an A-wing looks like.
Hmm.
Um, the B-wing is super wild, super wacko. Um, there are lore reasons for it, like you said. But I can understand. I personally enjoy it. I like the weirdness of it, with
Hmm.
it still feeling viable. Um, yeah, maybe it's the scale. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't like the Enterprise stuff because it looks like something that should, like, in shape, it looks like a starfighter, but
Hmm.
knowing that it's the size of a city,
Hmm.
it just doesn't feel right. In Star Wars, you can definitely tell just by looking at the ships which ones are giant, which ones are small,
Yeah, I mean
for the
that's
most part.
that's a good point. Yeah, the scale of the Star Trek ships, the littler ones are lame, but the big
Hmm.
ones they aren't viable in like the cool space fights.
Yeah.
And so, what all is your opinion of the Millennium Falcon design? Because I've always found it weird that the cockpit was all the way on the side. I imagine, knowing it's a freighter, it's not built for what we've seen it do,
Well,
technically, right?
so that's where I get that it's weird. It gets weird with me, man, because I'm currently saying I hate the Millennium Falcon design. I have a model of it on my shelf to my right and a pillow of it on my
and
chair to the
a
left.
and a light. You have a Millennium Falcon light.
Yeah, it's up there too. Yeah. Um, First off, the thing that I have to say, first and foremost, I like things that are exciting, but I hate when things are overhyped.
Mhm.
And the Millennium Falcon is the thing in Star Wars that is
Yeah.
overhyped.
Yes.
Yeah, you could make that argument with like lightsabers and stuff, but those are, used. It's cool to see a lightsaber because there are many different ones. The
Hmm.
Millennium Falcon being the one thing that is always there is kind of just annoying. Um, Now, let me get my model so I can tell what I'm looking at here. So, the cockpit to the side is fine. That's just like a standard Star Wars thing. You mentioned it being a freighter,
Hmm.
and if you like look at it, the cockpit on the side, like if you're thinking scales and everything,
Hmm.
Chewbacca has to like crouch
Hmm.
to be in there, and that is as thick as the Millennium Falcon gets, which
Hmm.
means Chewbacca would have to walk around and crouch the whole time. There is no real cargo bay.
Yeah, there really isn't because that big front part, that's where the escape pod used to be. That's not even where
Right.
you can put stuff.
There's a big like walkie circle and like the turret stuff in the center, and there's a
And a little
large
there's
like
a little room we never see
room.
with
Hmm.
beds
Yeah, but every shot you see of the Falcon is always cramped,
and wildly uncomfortable.
very uncomfortable. There are the storage things underneath the floor panels that we see a couple times.
Right, for smuggling.
Yeah, for smuggling. But other than that, being a freighter that doesn't have room for freight is kind of dumb.
Hmm. Now I've looked
Um,
at little maps of it. You said it does have a big cargo hold, but like how do you get the stuff to the cargo hold?
it's probably an access ramp from outside.
Ah.
Um, but my problem with it is it is. Sorry if you hear any clicking. That's just me playing with my model. Um, Compare like the cockpit size is about this. It's even a little bit bigger than the cockpit size of a TIE fighter. Meaning a TIE fighter is like what, a tenth of the size overall of this thing, and
Hmm.
yet the Falcon can outmaneuver and being this big hunk of junk that's flying through asteroid fields, it can fit through smaller gaps than the smaller ships can.
Hmm.
And I hate that that's something that they rely on a little bit, especially with
Sometimes
the asteroid field with the space worm in six,
5.
five, right? Yeah, they're not. Yeah, five. Um, there's too many times that the Falcon is like completely sideways, going in between two asteroids that a TIE fighter could easily fit, and the TIE
Hmm.
fighter chasing just crashes and explodes.
Star Wars.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And the fact that like they lean into the stuff that doesn't make sense
Uh-huh. Well,
super, super hard.
I feel like they do that a lot in Star Wars.
Anything that they that doesn't make logical sense, they have some other explanation for.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, it's the Falcon. It's always going to be the Falcon. Everyone loves the
Yeah.
Falcon. But that, okay, that being said, all that
Mhm.
discussion, in the Star Wars universe, what has been your favorite ship?
The ARC 170 clone fighter.
Do we see that in any of the movies or is that in the show?
That is the actually overall,
Hmm.
it's the LAAT clone gunship. It's the gunships that the clones fly in the first time you see the clones into.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones with like they kind of look like the black and silver paperclip things.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
like the
cool.
sliding doors. Those are my favorite ships altogether. My favorite
Yeah,
fighter
those are
is the
good.
ARC 170, which we do see at the start of the Battle of Coruscant in the very first scenes of 3. It's the regular fighter that isn't the Jedi one.
Cool. So my favorite of the Star Wars universe ships is the Mandalorian ship.
Ooh, the Razor Crest.
Razor Crest. Yes, I love the Razor Crest. But now I'm thinking it might be because of all the Star Wars ships, it's the one that looks the most like a Star Trek ship.
Yeah, and hate to say it, honestly, the bottom of the list for me. One of
Really?
them. Yeah,
I loved it. I love the simplicity of it. Like it's got multiple doors. It's got a cool little bedroom, little bathroom cargo hold. I love it. I love that ship.
it's big and round. It's very round, and Star Wars is not a very round ship design
That's okay.
typically.
Understandable. Understandable. But for me. It's so put together. Like I know where things are. It's the only
Yeah,
Star Wars ship where I know where everything is.
but it's so. Yeah, I mean that being said, I definitely don't like Slave One either.
I was gonna say that's one of the weirdest ones. I hate how you have to get like I looked at a map. It's cool that the amount of stuff they actually fit in it,
Hmm.
and then when we saw the inside of it in season two, I won't spoil any other parts of season two for anyone who still hasn't seen it. But we do see the inside of it, and like it's cool that there's like a gyroscopic seating area. Cool,
Yes,
whatever.
agreed.
But the fact that like it lands and the cockpit is like you're on your back, like that's ridiculous. Who thought that was a good idea?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's how real spaceships are launched, right?
Yeah. All right, you won me over. But it's still strange. It's very strange.
I think it would have been much better if it flew the way it takes off.
Yeah, like it would kind of look like a bug, and I think that'd be
Hmm.
kind of neat.
But the fact that it flies completely like
Completely different.
flat, yeah.
Completely different. And like you kind of have to land like you're laying down.
Hmm.
And I think it'd be less weird if the cockpit had a gyroscopic part of it too. Then it would almost be interesting. I mean, it is interesting, but it would be, I think, more fun
Yeah.
if the cockpit rolled around like that as well, but it doesn't. Now, okay, going out of these two universes, just in
Yes.
general, what is your absolute all-time favorite spaceship design? And we'll exclude the ones that are the size of small towns
Okay.
into cities.
So we're talking like Starfighter size stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like up to the size ish of the Millennium Falcon, something that you can come and
Okay.
go from planets, kind of has some maneuverability, but isn't
Ooh,
something you could have the population of a school in.
that's gonna take some thinking.
I have mine. I have it's near and dear to my heart. I just love the design. I think it's dope.
Go for it. Shoot it out.
The Benatar from Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame because I love it. It looks like a bird. It's got like that cool multi-seat up front part that each seat can be the
Yeah,
pilot. It's got like the cool hangout area down at the bottom. It's got a pod within it. It's orange and blue. Like I love it. I love the Benatar. I think it's dope. It looks aerodynamic and spacey and uniform. It's my favorite. Absolutely love it.
that is a good one. Yeah, I probably have to stick with the clone gunships.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it
Hey,
has to
if
be.
it's your favorite, it's your favorite.
Unless I can think of something else in between now and then.
Mm-hmm. They'll be the last thing you say after, like when we close off.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think we got to go with that one.
Okay, fair enough. Those are our favorite ships for everyone who was wondering. and I know they were wondering.
Oh, I'm sure people are still here.
Hey, these are the burning questions.
Pop Tarts and spaceships.
Pop Tarts and spaceships. All right, what else you got? Now it's your turn.
What do I have?
What you
This
got
would be
on
a bad time
that?
to tell you that the only thing I have written on my whiteboard is burn Pop Tarts and strange ways to eat them.
You said you had ideas written on that. That is one idea. That's an
No, burn
idea and
Pop
a
Tarts,
half.
comma, strange way to eat them.
Okay, I do have topics. Kind of.
Okay.
What is your perspective and general opinion on Wallace and Gromit?
Um, Fine.
Just fine? Are you not a
Yeah.
claymation person?
I I wouldn't say that. Uh, Maybe not a claymation person. Like, I definitely don't believe that because something's claymation, it's good. But I think the best way to put it is everything is based on the story
Mhm.
and how the animation or even filming is helps portray the story.
Mhm.
So the medium hardly matters to me.
Okay. So it's the story of the Wallace and Gromit shorts that you don't really vibe with.
They're fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I love them.
Yeah.
I recently watched the classic three all over again, and I thought they're great. I love that you can see the thumbprints and like the characters. But
Hmm.
one funny thing I wanted to mention about the limitations of this art form is when Wallace walks up a ladder, his knees bend outward, like to the sides, in order for him to move up the ladder. And
Oh yeah.
it just looks so jarring. I had never noticed it before, but they can't make him look like a regular person climbing up a ladder. I don't know why at the time they just couldn't do it. Now this is leading into my actual main question.
What if knees went sideways?
No, but what if they did? Let's just go with that. What if they went sideways?
We'd have to crab walk everywhere.
We would. We'd have to go sideways. Do you think? Well, crabs they still face forward, but they
Mhm.
just walk. But crabs can also walk forward.
Yeah, it crab walk less out of like walking like a crab and more out of the like the motion denoted as crab walking, which is sideways walking.
What if our knees went backwards?
Then I think we'd still walk forwards because that's just the same way that like dog knees and stuff work.
Yeah, like I figured we would too, but that'd be strange.
Yeah.
Would
Ugh,
would we
that's
have the same?
gross.
Would we have the same kind of strength with kick? Like, yeah, because you can kick backwards, and it's pretty strong. There's an oomph there. Ooh, yeah,
It would be
knees.
no kicking forwards would be much more dangerous.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, if you kick backwards now, like it's got more strength than it does if you kick forward.
But if you think of like the way your leg would swing, like if we're thinking a soccer kick,
Oh, you see, I'm not.
doing
Yeah.
doing that forwards would blow your knee out if it went the wrong way.
Uh-huh. Ooh, ooh. Oh, hey, have you seen that video of the guy who tried to kick in a door and his leg
Stop.
then bends
Stop.
like that?
Stop.
It's on YouTube. It's horrible. He
No, we're
just
not. No,
he
stop. We're
just
not doing
limps
this.
away. He doesn't even
And
attempt to break in anymore. He just walks away. But anyway,
ah,
my point was leading
yeah.
into Wallace and Gromit Curse the Were-Rabbit. He does a mind meld with a rabbit using lunar panels, and it makes him basically a werewolf that's a rabbit. If you
Yeah.
were to make a were something, what animal would you pick?
One of the ones from the D&D Monster Manual that I've always fallen in love with is a were rat.
A were rat? I feel like
You
there's lots
look
of half
so
rat.
disgusting.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So I think, what if you were a were porcupine?
A wary pine.
That'd be so painful.
Hmm.
Like in particular,
Oh yeah.
if you were a were porcupine in the way that the werewolves in the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing movie, because like that werewolf transformation is the werewolf grows underneath your human skin and you rip the human skin off. If you're a were porcupine, you've got spikes coming out of your skin. Like they don't grow from you, they're coming
Well,
from the inside and they stick you.
if you think about that one though, that would probably be less painful because the skin isn't stretching and tearing as much.
Oh,
Since it's being pierced, it rips easier.
I guess that's a good point. So
God, I
there,
want to vomit. This is awful.
have we ever seen? Well, I guess we kind of have, haven't we? I was gonna say, have we ever seen like a
Ugh.
were reptile of some sort? But the lizard in Amazing Spider-Man 1 kind of showed us that.
Yeah, there's a. It feels like there's a lot of lizard transformations.
But not, see, I think there are a lot of lizard transformations, but not quite in a werewolf way. Like it's always a little more elegant. Like the scales almost flip through the skin,
It's yeah, like over
and they
time and
they grow like or there's like a metamorphosis in like an egg or something,
yeah.
and like they emerge reptilian. But there's not like a, oh, your bones are shifting and your claws come out and you grow your teeth like the lizard does in that Spider-Man movie.
Can you imagine the face of a werehorse being transformed?
I already hate it. I hate
Just
it.
like the teeth sliding down into this big snout.
Oh, what would a werehorse look like? Because some people might think, well, a centaur is half man, half horse. No, it isn't.
No,
A
no.
centaur is 90% horse, and
With
yet
half a
somehow
man.
still, yeah, it's still somehow 50% human. It is so bizarre. And like they're elegant to look at in fantasy, but honestly, centaurs are some of the weirdest fictional creatures out there. Because imagine that with any other animal.
Yeah, one thing that this is kind of getting more into the sense of humor thing we were talking about. Where with some depictions of centaurs, where'd the dick go?
That's a really good point. I think. Oh, oh, can you? Okay, I'm going right into it. Censorship warning or whatever. Young viewers, go away. Imagine you just wake up a centaur, and you like reach down, and it's just neck. It's just
Oh.
everything that you know of that's supposed to be there isn't there. It's just horse neck.
And thinking about like the politics of like a fantasy world with uh maybe politics is the wrong word. The social behavior of a fantasy world with centaurs being a commonplace, that is like a common the chest part of a horse is a common place to pet a horse. Do you pet centaurs there? And does it
Ooh.
matter? Because like to them, that's just like belly button. That's
Oh,
just
see, I would argue you probably don't pet them since they are a society, and I don't really go up and pet other people.
yeah, but like we like pats on the shoulder
Ah,
and
okay, that's a good point. Okay,
like
okay, a female centaur. If
mm,
she's pregnant, where is she
which
pregnant?
belly which how many stomachs does a centaur
How
have?
many stomachs does a centaur have?
We
And
thought we
then
were out of topics and now we're asking how
and
many
then
stomachs a centaur
baby
have. We
centaurs, a baby horse can stand after like 30 minutes, but a human baby can't
does
hold its
it
head up for
flop
like six
around?
months. So like a baby centaur, the human part has to be like 6 months old already.
Ah,
That's weird. Centaurs are weird.
how many stomachs does a centaur have? I'm still stuck on that one. I've got like that in the back of my head. I've got the vision of a like a cult, not cult, not C-U-L-T, but C-O-L-T, the baby horse,
Uh-huh.
running around with a like human child flapping around as
Oh,
it
it's
runs.
horrible. It's so horrible.
But yeah, when a centaur eats, does it get human stomach processed and then horse stomach processed and then moves from there? Or is it just like, is it completely changed? How many lungs does a centaur have?
Oh, where's the heart?
Where's how many hearts?
Okay, so like if unless it is two, unless there
Mhm.
actually are two and they're just connected, is it can't okay, well it can't be human heart, can it? Because it's the horse body. But does that
Yeah, a
mean that
human heart could
everything
not
does
support.
that mean everything in the human part honestly is just it's just tubes that go down to the horse part? Like there's nothing in the chest except bones and
Like,
tubes.
minus the brain, a centaur could survive without the human part.
Oh my
I don't like
God.
thinking about that.
I imagine the real answer probably is that it does have two, and they just connect
Hmm.
flawlessly because of magic.
Right.
But like centaurs are messed up, man. Do you think there are zebra centaurs?
Yeah, totally.
They're a little littler.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Clydesdale centaurs and Shetland pony centaurs. But okay, going back to where this all began, what is half human, half horse? Is it a fawn but a horse? Or would you have, if you were going off of the werewolf thing, you'd have horse teeth,
No.
you'd have horse eyes, horse ears.
To go truly half and half, it would be kind of the fawn. Is that what it is?
Yes, a fawn.
The like goat people. It would have to be that, but for horses,
Hmm.
where it's a human top and a horse bottom.
Horse bottom.
But to don't say that again. Um, to bring this fully full circle, centaurs, assuming they have two stomachs that are like attached flawlessly,
Hmm.
does that mean there are two different like dietary restrictions that like a human stomach sensitivity and a horse stomach sensitivity that you could have? Where like
Oh,
the human can't process oats very well, theoretically. Gluten, the human has a gluten allergy, but the horse needs the oats. Is there gluten in oats? I don't know how this works.
yeah, I don't either.
I'm
That's
a
interesting. Can horses throw up?
uh yeah.
Can they?
They chew cud, right?
I have no idea. I thought
I know
cows do that, don't they?
sheep and cows and goats all do. So I assume horses do.
I don't know. I feel like horses are a, a related but different branch.
There's something about the like the long slits for eyes and the hooved animals that all share some common traits.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Oh,
But that being said, I don't know how many stomachs a horse has, and I know sheep and cows both have multiple.
yes, that is. Yeah, I know that to be true.
So I don't know. Why does that matter? Are you saying like the human part could throw up things and the
Well, like,
horse part?
see if a horse could throw up, if a centaur has a stomach bug, would it throw up twice? And it means that like the horse part is then regurgitating into the human part.
Oh, so you'd have to like as soon as you throw up, you're like, okay, it's coming again in a half an hour. No
Yeah,
stopping it.
and that's disgusting. Okay, the more and more you think about it, there's nothing whimsical about centaurs.
No, they're just gross.
They really are. That's just nasty, and that's the only magical creature I can think of that's like 90% one thing, 10% something else, but the 10% is still half the other
Still
thing.
a majority, yeah.
But that being said, spider centaurs are kind of cool.
Yes.
I don't question any of that, even though it's just as weird. But like where it's a human body and it has like this like the human body stuck right on top of where the spider head is, those
Well,
look cool.
that makes a little bit more sense, right? Because spiders don't have that complex of the inner workings.
Yeah, but their heart is in their massive butt part. So it's still they
Well,
still have two
sure.
hearts.
That's fine. But all of the complexities can be in the human part.
That's okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Like a horse is a big ass fucking animal that has a complex nervous, circulatory, digestive system, where the spiders don't really have that complex, so it could be supplemented into the human side with just the extra heart and the extra bits to keep the legs working.
Yeah, keep those legs working.
Because spider
Ooh,
legs work off of hydraulics, right?
I think so.
It's
But
like
I
blood
don't.
pressure.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Has there ever been a scorpion centaur in something?
The Scorpion King.
Oh, God. He looked pretty cool, other than the fact that he looked awful.
Yeah, the concept was cool.
He had two tails, though. I didn't like the two tails.
I mean, he's a god, right? Or something
He's
close.
like a pawn of a god.
Yeah, so you gotta have that extra, like, godliness to it.
Yeah, they're always extra. I like those movies for the most part, though. I like my mummy movies.
Ugh.
Centaurs, man.
Yeah, just thinking about it.
I know. Okay, in okay. Now here's one.
Yep.
A griffin
Yeah.
is a griffin a lion body? The ones that have talons on the front paws.
Yeah. Okay.
Is a griffin a lion body with eagle talons on the front paws, an eagle-looking face, and then wings, or is it all of the eagle body except for the tail
Stapled to the
stapled to
front.
half of a lion?
I I think that one, the griffins are a much better mesh of two creatures.
But it's even weirder because it's like it's the opposite of the centaur. It's like if you just take off an eagle's tail and put half a lion, and it's like you go from having four limbs that you know of to now you've got two extra ones sticking out of your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, oh, ooh.
Yeah. I think a griffin is a much better mesh of a creature, which means it can't be separated like that. But I do like the idea of let's take a bird and put it on a cat.
Yep.
Go.
I like different variations on griffins as well because like they've actually
Hmm.
explored it art wise more than centaurs have. Like you got owl griffins and parrot griffins. Like I love it.
Well,
I love griffins.
I think it's because griffins have this open-ended imagination to it, where a centaur is put a human top on a horse
Yeah.
head, and there's not really
Because
a lot you can do with it.
so then let's reverse a centaur. Like so it's 50% of a horse on 10% of a
If you
human.
want, if you want to technically reverse a centaur, it is human legs and just a horse head. Like technically taking the parts that were not used and putting them together, that's it. It's just a horse
Oh,
head running around on two
so
human
from like
legs.
the hips up, it's just a horse neck.
That's it.
That is so okay. I love the idea though. Like in one magical world realm, it's centaurs, but like going off of Newton's third law, every
Yeah.
action has an opposite equal. But there's an alternate reality where their centaurs are just they're monsters that kids tell or the parents tell their kids about, and it's just a horse head
Yeah.
with human legs. But like they don't have arms, so they don't put on clothes. So the male ones are the most terrifying.
Just extra flappy bits. I like the
All
idea.
the time.
I like the idea of it being like a fly experiment gone wrong kind of a thing, where they were just
Ooh,
trying to replace like a horse and a human. It's like, okay, we're gonna transport you, and it's like, oh fuck, now there's just a guy on a horse and a horse on legs.
yeah. Oh, but the same questions, but opposite. There are no organs in that.
There are no that's
It just breathes through the
brain.
butt, like because that's the only thing that it's connected to.
That's like the skeleton kind of a thing where whatever it eats just immediately gets pushed through because it'd be a straight tube, straight
Exactly.
down
Like they don't live very long because they can't do it. They don't have a
sustain
liver. They
themselves.
don't have kidneys. They don't have
They
a
don't have a
bladder.
heart.
They don't have a heart. There'd have to be a magical explanation. There has to be a heart of some sort, or they're
It's just
undead.
brain on legs.
It's just brain on legs.
What I'm picturing this whole time is imagine, because that's a horse brain. Imagine a
Hmm.
horse brain on two legs getting scared.
Ooh, so like it's like trotting. It's like jumping up and down.
I just see it sprinting through the fields.
Can you? It's so terrifying. That's like
Uh,
easily the most terrifying thing.
with his good old human man bits flopping about.
Okay, now what about a fawn? Is it just as terrifying or less so? Because this is a goat, half a goat, that's just on all fours that has a human half sticking out of the back.
That
Is that somehow more or less terrifying?
the way that I'm picturing that is the horse Halloween costume,
Hmm.
but the back person forgot their outfit.
Right, but see, it would be down on all fours, but that not, or
Yeah.
would it be a guy standing with a goat that
No,
doesn't know
it'd
what's
be
going on?
because it's the goat brain, it would be down on all fours. I think that one's a lot better. I think that's a lot like
Okay,
better for my brain to picture than horse head on legs go.
yeah. Ooh, oh goodness. Okay, here's okay. Oh, ooh. Okay, this might not be as cool as I actually thought it was initially.
Uh,
Imagine a wolf
okay.
is bit by a human, and then a full moon comes around, and that it transforms into a werewolf from wolf. So it's actually like regressing
Man,
almost.
just ow, I gotta do my taxes.
Yeah, I gotta do my taxes. It's like, oh no, he's been bit by a man. I think that's what it was in that's what Spider Pig's thing was. He was bit by a radioactive
A
pig.
pig, yeah.
He's a spider that was bit by a radioactive pig. So they flipped it. But oh, these fantasy creatures are so weird backwards.
Man, a were-human. What if you
Ew.
were a dude bit by a were-lady?
I don't know how much of that we could discuss within
Yeah, okay, let's
within
before okay.
YouTube guidelines.
We are in a rabbit hole we need to escape from.
All right, topic change. Go.
Uh fucking
Teletubbies are way creepier than we remember.
dude, how are no, you are correct. This is something we need to go down. How are children not traumatized by everything we subject them to?
I don't know. I really don't. Like when you look at set photos of those things, I honestly thought they were the size of like
Like
I don't know,
little.
like puppets, like Sesame
Yeah.
Street.
No,
But
these
they're
are 8 feet
huge.
tall things. Yeah, thinking because I loved Teletubbies as a kid,
I did
and now
too.
I don't understand.
I know all their names. I still do.
I, oh God, it's
When we
bringing
spit it
them
out, I'll do
back.
it.
No,
I'll do it. I know their colors and their names and the little item they each had. Like each one had a thing.
yeah, I know Poe is the red one.
Yes.
Lala's the yellow. Is there a yellow one?
Yep.
No, there's. Oh, was I right?
Yes. You're on a roll.
Okay.
Keep going.
Um, is one like Tweedle? That sounds
No. It does
wrong.
start with a T.
Tom Tom
No.
Tom.
No.
T-
No.
Go for it.
Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky, which is the purple one,
Mm-hmm.
and then the green one,
Dipsy.
Dipsy. No, I would never gotten that one.
Yep. And Tinky Winky's antenna was a triangle. Dipsy was a straight line. Lala had a loopy loop, and Poe had a
And Poe had a
circle.
circle.
And
Yep, I
then, okay,
remember Poe.
I'm gonna try and do their. Each one had their like toy or something. Tinky Winky had a red bag. Dipsy had a Dalmatian style top hat. Lala had a great big orange bouncy ball, and Poe had a scooter. It has been easily 20 years since I've seen this show.
But just to like continue on this, outside of the Teletubbies, being as terrifying as they are, I think everyone can agree that they're scary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because my nephew is here every week. We watch over him while his mom's at work. Everything this kid sees is a toy that makes noise and has a face on it,
Mm.
right? To a child, does that mean that they think this, fake remote that they're playing with is alive because it has all of the features of something that it knows is alive. It has a face, eyes, nose, and a mouth, and it also makes noise and moves sometimes.
Probably. I mean, I would imagine, and I think Toy Story encourages that mindset.
Yeah, my nephew's still too young for that, but does that really does bring in when a child breaks a toy? That's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. Can you imagine nowadays, right?
Yes.
Assume the position of a child, but
Okay.
with your brain.
Okay. This is weird.
Yeah, your brain, but their experiences. Everything around you is alive.
Okay.
Every little thing, the bed you're sleeping in is alive. The toy that is next to you is alive. The TV over there, it's alive. And right now, it's nighttime. None of them are moving. None of them are answering. None of them are looking at you. They're all off.
I hate this. I feel like I'm high.
I feel like that.
I've never even been high, and I feel high. Like this is weird. Like
Yeah.
I'm imagining I'm really, really small, and everything is just a cartoon. Like it's sleeping, snoring,
Yeah.
eyes closed. I hate it. This is weird. This is like,
And the only thing that happened is you were placed in here and left alone, and everything around you died.
oh God, being a kid is horrible.
It must be. For some of them, you can still see their faces just frozen there.
Ooh. Well, going off of that, kind of like, but reverse. Have you ever seen that idea that floats around the internet now and then? That if like one of the toys in Toy Story actually died, but Annie didn't know it,
It's just a
the other ones,
corpse.
all the other ones would be playing with a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. There's
Yeah.
so many things that aren't considered when you bring toys to life. Man,
Yeah. That also brings up the question, right? Toy Story 4 kind of played with it a little bit, but what makes a toy?
I know. I got really uncomfortable when Woody actually became unconscious when they performed surgery on him. That made me feel really, really weird because they opened him up
Yeah.
and they took something out, and then as soon as they sewed him up, he's fine. But like, ew.
Yeah,
What
but
happens when Buzz's batteries go out? Why do the toys that need batteries, like, do they do it? Okay, does a toy that needs batteries die when it runs out of batteries? But that doesn't affect the toys that don't. But then, yeah,
well,
then what makes a toy? Because Bonnie makes her own toy.
yeah, to what makes a toy? It's sort of like given in that movie that anything a child loves can become a toy.
But like the other movies reference other things that are alive that
Mm-hmm.
aren't toys. In Toy
Mm-hmm.
Story 2, Ham refers to the lawn gnome across the street. And in Toy Story 3, Buzz references the Christmas ornament guys in the attic. So like
Yeah.
those are all alive. And that makes me wonder if the toy cars are alive. Are the cars already alive? Like in Cars?
Everything, well, not everything. Most things in Toy Story have faces.
Right.
Maybe that's it.
Face.
Yeah, face and being smaller and built for enjoyment, I suppose. That might be it. If it's something constructed for the concept of enjoyment, because like thinking about it, if a kid, going back to my nephew, he absolutely loves to play with like ink pens.
Mm-hmm.
There's no face or anything on there, but does that mean that in the Toy Story world, because that received the love of a child, the pen can now be alive?
Hmm.
Or, boo, big old brain blast here, buddy. Everything that exists is alive, but only the toys can get around because they're the only things with faces to make noise, limbs to walk.
That's rough. That's dark.
Everything is alive. That chair over there is alive. It just does not have the capability of motion or expression.
Okay, I want to hit you with another theory
Smack it.
that I just thought of it because I thought of this back in Toy Story 3, but it wasn't relevant at the time. I could be completely wrong.
Because it's totally relevant now. Go ahead.
Right. But like it looked to me loosely that Bonnie made Dolly. She's like fabricy with the same kind of eyes that Forky has, as if it's like a kit of some sort. Like she put that
Yeah,
together.
okay.
What if it's just Bonnie, minus the gnomes and like the other personified objects that are just alive? What if it's Bonnie? What if she's like some sort of special character, like the witch in Brave, and she brought Dolly to life, and she brought Forky, and then the little other one she makes at the end? What if it's like not every kid who makes a Forky character comes to life? It's Bonnie who does it.
I think I'd I think I'd have to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Simply because of the vast amount of things that were, though manufactured, they're still created, and they've never seen Bonnie and are still alive. Like all of the toys at the antique shop,
True.
they never saw Bonnie, and they've been moving around for a while. And
But
Bo
then,
Peep,
okay, well, then what
all
about
through.
the you were saying, wow, I like the idea that everything is alive, they just don't have the capability. But you had
Mhm.
said anyone who gives it meaning or gives it love or something. What does that
Yeah,
say for the Buzz and Buzz or in Toy Story 2?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Buzz did
No,
that. What if other toys can do that? Because Forky doesn't move or say anything until Woody addresses him.
I've always wondered about that. What, especially in Forky's case, what keeps him quiet?
Exactly.
Is
He's
it
like he thinks
fear?
he's trash. What if it? I have no idea. It's bizarre though because that's like a really good point. He does not care. He clearly doesn't care. So why does he do that?
And it's very clear that he's not careful either.
Uh-uh.
Like, as soon as Bonnie turns around, he throws trash cans over trying to get into them.
What if it's well? No, that doesn't work either because the toys move around when people are looking at them all the time and they reveal themselves
That
to Sid.
that does strengthen my theory though,
It does.
because Forky is just a spork that now has the ability to move and emote.
Hmm.
So he was alive the whole time thinking he's trash. Now he just has the ability to get back to the trash.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awful.
What's really sad though because
Hmm.
they hype up this character Forky that people now love, but like that kind of toy doesn't last more than a couple months.
Yeah,
Like
Porky's
Bonnie's not gonna care about that. Forky, like that, we've never really seen it, but a toy being completely 100% discarded because it's literally made of trash.
hmm Yeah,
Ooh, that's dark. And that's okay. That's probably the most unbelievable thing in Toy Story 4 is that Jessie comes back at the end of the movie from like her first day of first grade or whatever. Like if
yeah,
kindergarten was the first year, whatever comes after kindergarten. I was homeschooled, and
that's
Forky
first
is
grade.
still there. Forky lasted a whole year.
Go back and answer the other question that you raised during this, which was what happens when um, toys with batteries run
Mm-hmm.
out,
Mm-hmm.
and why does that affect them but not others? I want to assume that as the toy's intended functionality gets lesser, that's when they start dying off,
Uh-huh.
for lack of a better word. Because we think of the penguin with the broken squeaker,
Uh-huh.
he's very clearly sick because his squeaker is broken.
Right.
So I think it's just
Oh, but
because the batteries are required for the toy to work, as the batteries deteriorate, that's what makes him sick.
right, but counter. Gabby's talkie thing or whatever, her voice box was broken. She wasn't sick. And then Woody operates without his voice box completely.
Yeah,
So I would
yeah.
imagine if Buzz just didn't have batteries, his lights and his laser and probably his wings
And
look
that'd
more
be
like
it.
it's
So then
so like he'd
why
be
was
fine, but
the penguin's wheezy, right?
he had a hole in his throat though, and it was more connected to him. Maybe,
Okay.
but still, Gabby, the whole thing didn't work, and she was fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing that didn't work was the disc. Her voice box was fine.
But like you said, Woody had it
Woody
removed
had it completely removed,
and he's still fine.
and
Yeah, no, I
Rex
think you're
also
right.
lost well, they lose limbs all the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
like the internal thing. Maybe with Wheezy, it's just for drama.
Right. And it could also have been, like you said, a hole cut into him. That's a
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah.
And being on the shelf with all the dust
Mm-hmm.
also. Because it's never really established that. Actually, is it?
What?
That they have to breathe?
I can't tell because I swear. So like when Woody doesn't even have nostrils, but
Hmm.
in Toy Story 2, when he goes to get his arm back from Al and Al burps in his face, he coughs.
Yeah.
Like he can smell it. And then Buzz Lightyear doesn't have nostrils either. But then when they're in the trash truck and when he wakes up from his Spanish mode, he's like, "That wasn't me, was it?" And like they act as if they have noses. It's so strange. Ugh. Oh, here's another one. This is kind of related, but not. So like in Toy Story 2, Woody wakes up from a nightmare, right? And he's just
Hmm.
screaming his head off.
Yeah.
What if Andy was there?
What if Andy would have heard that?
Like, yeah, like you just wake up from. Oh, wait, what if Andy was holding him?
Oh.
Is that terrifying? And then going back to that in the first Toy Story movie, like, do they need to sleep? Because when Andy has Buzz in his bed, Buzz is clearly passed out. Like imagine this
Clearly.
toy you know of, and you wake up and you look at it, and it's passed out. But then Woody, he spends all night walking around with Forky, and he never gets tired. But then other times they reference like, oh my plastic feet hurt, or Slinky's
Hmm.
butt cannot keep up with his front end because it's so tired. But like, you
Yeah.
guys don't have organs, you don't sweat, like what?
Hmm.
Two post college dudes just crapping all over Pixar's relentless creativity and success for the last 20 years. But these are the real questions.
These are the real questions.
And I
Do they
think,
tire? Do
yeah,
they sleep? They don't eat. I think it's established they don't eat.
is it?
I think so. But, for the sake of argument, let's raise the question. They have to eat. They can't make it to the kitchen. Do they eat the dead bugs in the vents?
Ew.
They'd have to.
Ew. Oh, ew.
Yeah, super you.
Well, on
But they
that,
have to.
yeah, I think on that note, we should probably close off.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, everybody, for
Leave
this one.
let these Toy Story toy ideas haunt your nightmares for
Not
a
even
week.
that. We hit him with "Where's the Dick Go" on the Centaur
Yep.
after a half-hour conversation about Star Wars and Star Trek ships,
hmm
and talked about knees going the wrong way.
Today was kind of horrific.
Today was a bad one.
The,
This is,
the description for this video is going to be really funny.
yeah, listen to two grown men not want to talk about what they're talking about
Yeah.
for an
Imagine
hour.
a reverse centaur.
Oh, stop.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. If
Yes,
any of you still are.
yeah, if anybody made it here, it's not even a thank you at this point. It's a congratulations for making it this far.
It's impressive.
Um, Still slow going on those projects that we'll push at the end here,
Yeah, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
but um, still Andrew's TikTok very clearly gonna throw that down there.
Yep, spooks
Um,
doodles.
Spooks Doodles. Uh, yeah, you're an artist. You commission, right?
Yeah, I do commissions. If for some reason someone out there wants me to draw a reverse centaur,
Oh,
and you want it like on a shirt or something, you could message me on my Instagram. I don't do Twitter, but my Instagram is spooksdoodles 2020. So
cool. We'll put that down
yeah,
there too.
yeah, like pay me to draw a reverse centaur. It'll be great.